All right, guys, welcome back to Aman's Unfiltered. So, as you guys know, this is where I strip every layer of my conversation and we strip away the filters, the politeness, and of course, no sugarcoating. Today, we have a very special guest on my show. I don't know if you guys remember this, but in season one, I did an episode with Auntie Anchana about gender identity and gender equality, right? So today, this person, I'm going to let him introduce himself and how he identifies himself. We're going to speak to him about how it is being the individuality that he is in our society, about how he came out to his parents, and how confident he is about himself. I know this for a fact. I adore this guy. So I'm going to bring him onto my show and we're going to dive in much deeper about gender identity with someone who is already living it on a daily basis. So this conversation today is about having you guys open up your eyes about the difficulties of someone coming out, especially in our community, and how important support truly can change someone's life of living their lives openly among us. So I'm going to pass the mic to him. Let him introduce himself. All right, guys. Here I have that particular individual I was telling you about. So I'm going to pass the mic to him right now.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
I'm Rakshet. Hopefully most of you know me or have seen me around.
So, I don't know if you heard my episode that I did in season one about gender identity or gender equality. Did you have a time to even go through it?
No, but I'll
Okay, clearly he's a fan. Okay.
I've been listening to the wedding one a lot.
Clearly that's been giving more attraction than whatever I said in season one. So I think I know where I need to pivot next
And now
time
season 2 will be better because people will listen more.
because you're here.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So I'm going to dive right in. And I know you've been on Kripal Dal.
Yes, I have.
Okay. So unfortunately, Kripal Dal, I had already approached him before you even called him over. So thanks, guys, for taking this one on first. Anywho, okay, Rakshat, how do you identify yourself?
As a gay man.
Okay. So how did you feel coming out to your parents about being gay?
It was quite, I think, daunting. I did it a lot later in life. I think I was in my early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah, it was much. I was still studying in Australia. I think I was home, must have been one of the vacations. And I sat my mom and my sister down and I told them at the same time that
Okay.
I have a feeling I'd finished my undergrad and I was doing my master's. So it would have been like 21, 22, maybe 23 around
Okay.
that time. Yeah.
And when did you realize that you were gay?
I think much earlier.
Okay.
Middle school, high school, I think that's when you start kind of getting the inclinations of who you are attracted to from the
Yeah,
people
yeah.
around you. And then you see everyone kind of coupling up and you're like, is that for me? Does that like feel natural? So I think you understand it a lot earlier.
Okay.
I think it just took me a little bit longer to see more of it around, see different examples of relationships because growing up, it was very heteronormative. It was very boy and girl.
Right.
There
Of
wasn't
course.
much options. Even on TV, there wasn't much options for me to see what else was out there.
Interesting that you say that because there's so much to see now.
Yeah, it's great. I
Yeah.
mean, it's great for everyone growing
Everywhere.
up. It's everywhere.
It's
I
on
really
Peppa
like
Pig
it.
too.
Really?
Yes.
Oh no way.
No, there's
Okay.
an they aired an episode or they promoted an episode where there were two mothers and a child. And I'm like, oh,
Okay.
so Peppa Pig is introducing
I
gender
think they've done it
identity.
on Sesame Street as well, or talking about inclusion in some way because I'm sure they've done something on Sesame Street because they've also touched on single parents
Yeah, yeah.
and adoption. So they've been, I think, touching on all different family types.
Did you wish as a kid that what we are exposed to now was also exposed to back then?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It just gives people more opportunity to see something that like that they might not think is the majority of everything around them. It just
Right.
allows people to, I think more exposure is good because then it's just more learning and more information for you to
Mm.
have and make your own judgment and decisions about stuff.
Okay. What was the defining moment where everything clicked for you?
I actually can't think of one specific moment where I was like, oh my God, this is it. Like, I think it was just a culmination of a few different things, and then thinking about it myself. I know it happened while I was at uni.
Yeah, it was a
So
hot Australian surfer.
potentially, I was also in a town with with no easy access to a beach. So I think it was just being there, um, and then maybe like walking past the gay bars or seeing a drag queen or seeing
Right.
something
Right.
that I was like, this feels like who I am, and
For,
it allowed me to, I guess, explore it a bit more.
so the fact that you were not here
Yeah.
made it easier for you to explore that idea that you could be gay or you are gay,
Oh, I think definitely. I think
right?
being here, and I wouldn't say even just talent, I think living at home is a lot harder for you to trying to identify and figure out who you are because you're
Right.
not really given the space to experiment, I feel,
Mm.
living at home
Okay.
without just what will society think? What will other people think? I might, if if I went out of the house wearing a lot of eyeliner, will people like be like, why did you leave the house like that? Or if I wanted to wear like a really shiny shirt, even if you want to go super
Yeah,
basic
yeah,
and be like,
yeah.
I'm gonna wear like bright pink today and leave my house, people will be like, oh, his mom let him leave the
Mm.
house looking like that, kind of a situation.
But like I feel like in Thailand, especially, right? Thais have been coming out way, way before,
Mm.
right? So did that not give you enough motivation to be like, oh, if in the country I'm living in, the Thais are coming out, why can't I?
I think even back then, even though we were living in Thailand, we weren't exposed
Right.
to Thai media or Thai lifestyles and went to international school, didn't go to Thai school.
Okay.
Spend most of my life around international kids or around like the metropolitan Sukhumvit area. You didn't really explore outside or like
Mm.
go hang out in Siam, where a lot of like Thais generally did. You kind of stuck with your own crew, your own crowd,
Yeah, yeah,
did
that's
your own
true.
sort of thing. So even if that was the case, even at international schools, I don't think there was one other gay kid in my class. Like we had like 200 people. If you look at stats now, there had to be.
There had to be one or
Yeah,
two
exactly. Or
or
even a
more.
lot more.
Yeah.
But it's just it wasn't there. And I think even thinking about like the years above me and the years below me, you could maybe think about like one or two, and that was like the super flamboyant, effeminate ones. If I'm talking
Okay.
about like
Yeah, yeah,
men.
yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess all the women that were a bit more butch were into sports, were like they could just be great sports players or just
Mm.
that kind of wasn't really something that we had exposure to.
Okay. And when you came out to your mom and your sister, like how did they react?
I think it was a shock a little bit. And then I go back and I look at like old photos and I'm like, really? You were
You were
actually
shocked.
shocked? Like, are you sure?
Your sister was shocked?
I think it was just something that, yeah, I guess a little bit. I think, or
Okay.
maybe like deep down they knew.
Mm.
It was just the initial reaction. And then I think it just took them a bit of time to understand it. And I guess the immediate thing is fear, like, oh my God, is my son going to be accepted into society? Is it going to
Yeah.
impact his job if like his corporation finds out?
Right.
Like if he puts this stuff out into the universe, my family really believe in Nazar, so I have a feeling that that was a little bit like, is this just something else for people to hate on him that then could
Mm.
affect something? Or he has one prejudiced boss that will be like, I'm never going to promote him because he's gay or queer
Right.
or anything. I think it was all of that. And then again, society, like what will society think? What how will you find a partner? Where will you live your life if society is not open and accepting
Right.
to it? Um, to the extent I even think it went as far as how will your sisters in-laws think about it?
Oh wow, that far,
Yeah.
huh?
But again, this was what 12, 13 years
Yeah.
ago.
A lot's changed then.
Yeah,
Mindsets
exactly.
changed
Yeah.
then.
But
Yeah.
it was still a lot of
A
I
lot
think in the
to
past it was a lot of like
process.
in-laws accepting people into their family as well. So it was all of that. Like the family had to look perfect for any sort of wedding
Who's in
situation.
laws?
Like my Neha's
Oh,
potential in-laws
okay.
back then.
Right. Okay. Interesting. So, do you have a boyfriend right now?
No,
No. Why?
I don't know. It's very hard to date. And I think as you get it later in life, it gets harder to date.
Is it harder to date because you're looking for someone within the society or
No,
someone who's Indian
I'm not
or
specific in the type of
yeah,
like ethnicity of the person that I'm looking for.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. And has your your mom ever had this conversation with you? Like what happens if you find someone? Are you going to be here? Are you going to live abroad? Do you think living abroad is going to make a much easier lifestyle for you to live in?
I think initially that was the idea, but like go live abroad, get married, have kids, do whatever you want.
Because you were in
And
London, right?
yeah,
You were in London for how many years?
2.5 years.
And were you able to explore openly? Were
Yeah,
you had a
absolutely. I had
partner?
great, no, I didn't, I never had a partner while I was there, but I had like some great friends. We would go out on the weekends.
Do you
We
miss
would
that?
a little bit. I think one of the hard things about moving home was losing my like queer community.
Yeah.
Because I think here I maybe know like handful, and I think I have like two or three like gay
Mm,
friends like in Bangkok that I had before I left. And
okay.
then I think just making friends in your 30s is hard enough as it is. So I think building up that community, I think it's gonna be something that I'm gonna miss. Just having like friends to go out and party with.
Right. Do you think like people still need to be very educated within our community about this? Or they're educated enough and they're just
I
blindsided?
think so.
That's that's
I
that's
think
it.
they're educated enough, and it's just turning a blind eye to it. Like I mean, even if you look across the whole Indian society, I was
Yeah.
talking to my friend about that Badasses of Bollywood that
Oh
just
my god,
came
I
out.
love it. I finished it in 2 days like
It's
that. It's
it's
so
hilarious,
badass.
but we were talking about like they made some queer jokes in there as well. I'm like, you know what? It's fine. It's in the script writing. But I think
Right.
even like Karan Johar at one point made a joke about not knowing like woman's touch or something.
I
Um,
wouldn't know that.
yeah, he
Yeah,
made
yeah,
that
yeah.
joke,
He
right? Yeah,
made
but
that
then
joke.
also
Yeah.
he's never publicly said that he's gay.
But I think he publicly said it through a lot of his
Yes.
interviews by
Oh,
giving these like
like remarks
remarks.
or I'm gonna adopt two kids on my own. But I mean, like, if you're to me, I think the word holds so much strength. If you're able to openly
Openly
say
say
it,
like,
it helps
yo,
build up like people around you, helps change a few more mindsets within the community as well. Like you can make these little jokes, but if someone maybe isn't as educated, doesn't understand the nuances of the joke,
right.
they might just laugh and be like, oh, okay, because he's been single for 40 years, kind of a situation.
He's
Like,
making fun of it
yeah,
himself.
yeah.
Okay.
Like I think the words hold a lot of strength. So the fact that people either don't say it or kind of ignore it or just be like, I'm not gonna mention it.
Do we know anybody in the Bollywood industry who's openly gay?
No, I can't think of anyone. I also don't live there, but I don't think I like.
No, any influential people that's openly gay. No, I
Um,
don't. I'm sure they are.
I
We
mean,
just
aren't like most of the designers are, but I don't know if they've openly said anything.
Dude, Manish Malhotra is definitely
Yeah,
gay. I think he used to date Karan Johar at one point. I could only
but then also the other
assume.
I can't remember his name, and I should since I like fashion. Is it Prabhu who did Alia's Met Gala look one year?
The Sardar guy?
No,
No.
no, he's Indian, but he's also gay, and then
Right,
I think
right,
he's
right.
openly said it, but I don't. I maybe he hasn't either. But he also doesn't really live in India. He lives in the U.S.
There you go.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So after speaking to your mom and your sister, like how was the response from the community and extended families? Did you tell them or you just waited for your mom and sister to just be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, he's gay."
I think a little bit of that. I think a little bit of, oh, you don't need to tell anyone just yet.
Just yet.
Yeah, this is also, again, 12, 13 years ago. Like,
But
don't
at
rock the
that
boat.
time, but at that time,
Yeah,
how did you feel when
I
they were
guess,
telling you that?
I guess it also comes back to, okay, like, I think in the end of the day, in my head, I was like, maybe I'm not meant to live in Bangkok with like, go live your life overseas, go set up, go be successful there, get married, have
Yeah.
kids, where things are a little bit easier. People are a little
Yeah.
bit more tolerant. So in my head, maybe I was like, okay, maybe don't rock the boat because my family will be here a lot longer than I will. So I don't want to mess up their standing in society or their relationships with people. Like, just don't cause drama or tamasha just yet.
Tamasha, has
Yeah.
that mindset changed
Oh,
now?
absolutely. Now I don't care.
What changed?
I think I just got older, and then I think times have just changed. I was never also someone who needed to do like a public coming out. Like,
Yeah.
I had friends who were like, "Oh, I'm gonna sit all my friends down at a dinner party and tell them all at once." I was like, "Do you want me to get you confetti or
Coming
like
out
something?" I
party.
was like, if somebody asks me directly, I will tell them. And I've had that
Right.
mindset since that time. So, like, if somebody came up to me at a wedding, or if my friend asked me, if I went to like my high school reunion and people
Yeah.
asked me, I tell it to them. And then
Okay.
I think I got a bit more comfortable posting about it on social media. And then I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what, whatever. Like,
No, you,
at this point, if you don't know, it's not my fault. What else do you want me to do?
absolutely.
Yeah.
But okay. I still want that dress, by the way.
Oh, the one with the feathers?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm still eyeing it.
Okay.
Okay. That one's coming to me.
Okay.
Okay. So back to how your mom thought that you would be discriminated at work or school. Were you at any point?
At that point, I was in college, and I don't think there's that much interaction at a college level.
Right.
Like, you don't, they're just not one on one with your professor who grades your reports, or like they even do it. It might get sent externally. Like, that really was never an issue. At work, I could never say, while I was working in corporate, if a boss had any sort of inclinations or not, because they never overtly said anything. I was never discriminated against using words, but I never saw myself in corporate world. Like, I never saw someone who was queer as a leader.
Right.
There was never representation for it. So I think at the end of the day, I realized maybe that's not the space for me. That's why I left, and I'm doing my own thing. But I know a lot of friends who did and who thrive in corporate environments. I mean, it took me a lot longer to come out at work. I didn't come out at my job until I think 2018,
Okay.
when I publicly like I was on stage at a event and I said it in front of like colleagues and like random strangers.
Oh, shit.
Because
What made you do that?
I think I was just, I'm like, it's time. I need to start living my like authentic truth. I was at a youth conference and everyone was talking about changing the world and being
Right.
empowered and being their true self. I'm like, you know what? Like, let's just do it. And then I went back to work. Everything was fine, and then I helped them set up and launch their like LGBTQ employee resource group, and like built up a whole network within the
Okay.
company.
Well,
So
there
like,
you
it was
go.
a great achievement, and now it's like I that's one of the things I'm going to be proudest of, setting that up.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
definitely something to be proud about. And please do boast about
Yeah.
this. Was this at Durex,
The parent
right?
company
The
wrecked
parent
it.
company.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. All right. And before you knew that you were gay, I'm sure you dated girls as well.
No, the first time I
At
ever
all.
dated someone was when I dated a boy, and this was like 3 years ago. No, family I would have been away 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
So you never tried like knowing
I mean,
how
I
it
like
would
I'd
be?
slow dance with a girl. I must have kissed a girl at a dance.
That's it?
I remember asking a girl out for coffee, and she said no.
Ouch.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, I'm not ready to date," and then she starts dating someone 2 weeks later. I was like, "Yeah, you could have just been honest."
I think she knew you were gay before you knew.
Maybe. But just, yeah, like
You know, girls that kind of have the antenna on.
yeah,
Okay.
potentially.
Okay. So, what was the like most offensive stereotype about gay men that you had to deal with,
Had
if
to
any?
deal with. I think the flamboyancy of it all. Like,
Really?
that's, if I think about it, it was a lot of, oh, like, you're gay, you can't do this. Like, it's like you're not manly enough to do this activity or be part of it. Me personally, I'm trying to think if it ever really bothered me, because I was never much into sports.
That would
Um,
bother the out of me. Sorry.
yeah,
That
but
would bother me so much.
like also to this day I play sports for fun. Like, I
Yeah.
don't get the competitiveness for it. Like even watching like it on TV, I'm like, they can't hear you when you scream at the television. Like, what's going on?
Like when this girl go like
Yeah.
half the
Or when they like foul or when they pass and it doesn't go anywhere, I'm like, but nobody can hear you. Like,
nobody can hear you.
and even if they did, they're not bothered. Like, it's just I get the big hype of it. But I think that it was more of a, oh, you're like into musical theater, drama,
Mm.
flamboyant clothes, that kind of stuff, rather than like you don't know how to build a table or change the tire of a car and things like that. And again, I don't know how to do any of that stuff, but I don't think it's because of
No,
any stereotypes. It's just it's not. I've never learned. Don't need to know.
you don't need to
Yeah.
know.
Whereas I see people online, like gay men online, like renovating cars, painting houses, building houses. I'm like, these stereotypes are just there.
We live in Bangkok where you pay Songoy baht. Your furniture comes with a tongue to put the screw on for you.
I love it. I love it so much.
How convenient is
Yeah.
that? So if I'm you, I wouldn't do it either. I'm not gonna
Exactly.
break a nail
Yeah.
for the fact that I can call someone to do this.
It's just the easiness.
I interviewed Narissa
Mm.
Simran, right? And I had her and her husband because she's like this pampered little girl from Bangkok, moved, like, and she was very open about it. Like, I have people doing things for me, and here I don't have anybody
Yeah.
doing things for me. And when I ordered my furniture from IKEA, I asked Aman, what time is the chung coming? And he's like,
One
there is
chung,
no
the
chung.
chung.
What chung? You do it yourself.
I mean, now in the UK, you can pay people like
Yeah.
TaskRabbit and stuff to come and
Yeah,
build it
but
for you, but
how
it
expensive is that going
comparatively,
to
yes.
be? Like, no.
No, it's so much easier life here.
Yeah. What's the one thing that you wished straight people would stop assuming about gay men?
I, oh, I don't know. I think it just comes back to the stereotypes that we're not. I'm trying to think. Yeah,
That means that was a good
yeah,
question.
it was. I think there's a one is potentially like we're all promiscuous and
Right.
just sleep around and like never settle down. But I think there's a lot of nuances to that that people then think about, or it's just that oh they're like effeminate and feminine, like they'll get offended so easily, or they like
Do you get offended easily?
no, or like they get like they don't know how to lift at the gym, or they can't lift as much, or like it's just the
I've
like
seen him at the
hyper
gym.
masculine.
Hello.
Yeah, but it's the hyper masculine side of like
Yeah.
that you can't do it because you're not a man, like man's man.
But there's so many gays who are
Yeah,
masculine, like bodybuilder masculines, but they're like, hello.
yeah. But
Right.
again, you just are blinded to the things that don't fit your narrative. They just don't see that, or they like refuse, or if you like, or if they say, oh, you can't lift and you lift heavier than them, then they go off to another stereotype. They're like, oh, but you can't do this or you can't do that. They're just constantly finding stereotypes that don't fit what they imagine or what they picture in their head.
Do you think it's the same with other LGBTQ communities like lesbians or
Definitely, like
all
the
of them?
same, like all the like lesbians fall in love on their first date, and then they
Mm.
move in on their second date. They rent a U-Haul and they move in together. It's all the same stuff. Or bi people like they're just super promiscuous because they sleep with both genders.
The other day I was talking to my husband, and we were having an argument, right? And he's like, women are so hard to live with, and I'm like, then go be with a guy. What are you telling me? Like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, do you know divorce rates among gay men are zero because they don't have to deal with you women. I'm like, what? And then I went back and checked the
Is
statistics.
it
I'm
true?
like, it's true.
Oh my god. Okay. Or is it they just don't get as married as much?
No, like even as like
Really?
living together
Okay.
or married,
You want to live with women?
like gays they hardly separate or
I
they
know a
don't
lot of gays that have got
divorce.
divorced or separated.
But the statistics are so high, like
Mm.
non
I mean,
divorce or
compared to
compared to women.
like just like heterosexual, like 50%, isn't it? 50%? Yeah. Of
Yeah,
marriages end in divorce.
I couldn't stop laughing, and I'm like that.
That's so funny.
I would want to agree to that. But I
Your
couldn't.
husband was one of the first people I came out to, but for medical reasons.
Oh,
Like,
no
yeah, he
way.
was one of the first people I knew, and I
Really?
think I openly talked about it because I went to him just back in the day to like do like kidney test, blood test, and to start getting my prep. Like he was the one that was prescribing it for me before I realized I
How
could get
many
it for free.
years before you realized you could get it for free?
Yeah,
What?
if you're a Thai citizen, the Red Cross gives it to you for free.
Well, there you
Yeah,
go. There are a lot of
another perk of
perks.
living here in Thailand.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was
That's crazy, isn't it?
20 I moved home from college 2014, so maybe like 2016, 2017 back then, around that time.
Wow. That was like 8 years, like 9 years
Yeah.
ago. What does freedom look like to you today?
What do you
About
mean?
like being gay. What does it feel like to you? Is it like a daily fight with some people trying to make them understand, or it's a peaceful
I think
living?
ultimately then it's some sort of it's peaceful living, but I don't put myself in the scenarios where I think I have to have those fights
Mm.
per se. Like I'm not so actively online yet that I get hate from people. But I know like there's other influencers that get it on the daily where they get like death threats for being gay. It's also depending where they live in the world. A lot of it happens in the West.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I guess not seeing that anymore. Like letting people live openly and happily.
I think they legalized gay marriages in Bangkok, right?
Yeah. In January, February this year.
This year,
Earlier
this
this
year,
year
this
it
year, this year.
happened. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
100% was this
It
year.
was earlier this year.
If you were to find someone, do you think you'll settle here? Do you think you'll be able to be openly a couple in our society? Like
I,
be able to kiss, be able to hold hands with your partner in like weddings and
but I also
stuff?
like how I don't see that many like straight couples doing that. Honestly, like I don't see PDA at weddings. Even the bride and groom rarely ever kiss. I'm like, guys, you're getting married.
That's so sad.
Right? They barely even if it's like a little kiss on the cheek or a little peck on the lips. I was like, come on, you're getting married. You're spending the rest of your life with this person. So I just don't think we're very PDA
Is
ish.
that because people are so afraid of what others, the word capital letters, others will think?
But how does it again? Like, see, I've just reached a point where, in my life where I don't care.
No, I don't care
But
about a lot of
I
things.
think maybe a little bit, or it's we're conservative. Oh, you're in front of your daddy, nani. You shouldn't be doing things like that. It's like, you think they haven't done it? Like they birthed your mom and or your
Yeah,
dad. Like
even though if it's behind closed doors, I
yeah,
think they
but
understand the concept of it.
exactly. Like I'm like this is not new to anybody. Okay, maybe
Yeah,
two men or two women kissing might be a new sight, but if you do it enough, they'll kind of be like, okay, whatever.
but it's
Holding
not alien
hands,
in it's not
no.
alien to
I mean, it's on
them.
TV as well.
Yeah,
Holding hands, I don't think I have a problem with it as much. I think it's just PDA, but also I don't see people do PDA here.
dramas like the ZTV dramas and all. I saw one clip and I was shocked. They are starting to promote it on ZTV
Really?
dramas. I can't remember what show it
Oh,
was. It was a Karva Chauth scene where the
okay, it was two boys. Oh, it was two
two
women.
women were waiting for their husbands, but both the husbands were in a corner doing Karva Chauth to themselves.
Oh my
I'm like,
god.
what's happening? What am I seeing? I was like, Mama, come see your darling ZTV. What they're promoting now. I was so happy. I was like, is this real? But yeah,
So interesting. Do you think would I ever fast for somebody else? That's the question. No.
you wouldn't
Or
fast
make
for
them do it.
anyone. Would you do Karwa Chauth?
I mean, I don't really know what the meaning behind it is. Oh, for me, Karvachat was if the girl's doing it, the boy has to do it as well.
Yeah,
Like,
equality, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
For me, it's like if one of my friends is doing it, I'd be like, why isn't your husband doing
So
it as well?
imagine the wife is praying for for your long life
Yeah.
and for 7 years of peace. I mean, no, 7 lifetime or something like that. And imagine like I'm not getting the same respect back.
Yeah. Exactly. It's equality. So what you expect?
I don't, but sorry, like I know a lot of people till today follow it religiously,
Absolutely.
but for me, I don't know if
Mine would be an
it's
equal thing. I'll be like, if I'm fasting, you're fasting too.
yeah.
Like no questions asked. Even if they were a white person, I'll be like, you have to learn what it is and just not eat for the day.
If I tell Rajiv you have to pass me, he'll be like, screw you. You eat all day. said, I'm not fasting. Yeah, that's not happening. I'm not doing that. I said, I love you, but I'm not fasting for you.
That's why you can show love in a different way.
Do you have any experiences that you want to share with anybody about any situation that you had to be in explaining yourself, explaining your identity to a group of people within our society? Has anybody in the society has ever come up to you?
No. Like personally, nobody's ever asked me to my face.
Like imagine if I'm an auntie and I'm like, Rakshet, when are you getting married? How do you answer?
But like,
To whom?
yeah, I'll be like soon at some point, because hopefully one day I get married. They didn't ask like,
No, you will, not hopefully.
yeah, but again, like their questions vague. My response will be vague. When are you getting married? At some point soon. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But nobody's ever asked you like gender specifically.
No, I can't think of I think I would remember if somebody did, like if an auntie or uncle did. But
People are so nosy in our society. How can nobody ever ask you something like
I
this?
don't
I
think.
would I would expect like imagine
But
people
again, I
asking
don't
you
think
in
they would come
events.
to me. I think they would have gone to my sister. They would have gone to my mom
Okay, I'll have your
and
sister on my
asked them.
show and ask her this.
Yeah,
Now has
I'm sure
anybody
you can ask
come?
her. I phone a friend, call her now and
Phone a friend,
ask her.
call a friend.
Put her on speaker
Call
and
her.
ask
Yeah,
her.
I'm serious. Let's call her. Put her on speaker on the mic.
I
And let's
wonder if
do
she.
it.
I wonder if she's so. She should still be awake. It's 9 o'clock. I mean, I'll WhatsApp call her. But again, I think a lot of it came to like my mom and my sister. Like nobody really asked me personally. Like I think a lot of the aunties asked my mom, and it took her a bit of time to like say yes. But like, and then again, I think with my sister as well. Even with my cousins, I think at one point like nobody they didn't really ask. They just kind of were like, okay, it is what it is. She's not picking up my phone.
She's really asleep.
Fine, it's 9 o'clock. Okay, she'll call back.
All right. So we have come a long way in this conversation already. So what I want to ask you is that do you have anything you want to say to a younger version of yourself?
The most cliche thing is it gets better, it gets easier.
Right.
Um, like that's just the most standard like cliche answer that anybody online really gives. And I think ultimately, yes, I'll be like, it's gonna be a struggle.
Yeah.
But your life is gonna be a lot of other struggles. This will just be one defining like character of who you are. And I guess just don't be afraid of it, and you'll find your family, your chosen family. Like it'll be your family. It'll be some. You'll fall out of touch with some friends, but you'll build closer relationships with others.
Yeah.
Like you'll build a network, so things will be fine.
Yeah. Do you think we have enough support, like a support group for people in Bangkok who are struggling?
I don't think so. I don't think we have a
Do you think
support
we
group for anything in for struggling in Bangkok. Like you can have,
should have
a,
started Aman's Unfiltered support group
yeah, and
for
just get a
various
whole bunch of like
things?
mental health professionals in and just start therapy for everybody. But I don't think there's much support in general because again, people, everyone's nosy about stuff. But I think these kind of things it's a different level of nosy where they don't get involved. I think people are very nosy on like what brands you wear, what jewelry you're wearing. Is it real? Is it fake? And then
Why
like
is your
as a,
set bigger than mine?
yeah, or is your couple are they getting divorced when they're having a kids? That kind of stuff. But like into these nitty gritty, like behind closed doors, kind of they kind of don't bring it up.
If you were approached like, hey, I need to start a support group for same sex marriages or the LGBTQ community and stuff like that, like would you see yourself leading a group like that, helping
I
people
would
come
definitely
out?
help. Yeah. Again, I wouldn't force anybody to come out. It'd be, I want to give you the tools to be able to have that conversation
Yeah,
and find the right people to have that conversation with, um, and then support you as you go through it. Again, like I'm not trained in like
of
mental
course.
health. It would be, I would love to help. Like if anybody needs help, I think that's the whole part of being a community is that you're here
Yeah,
to support one another and build those strong bonds and like let everybody be supported and be loved in whatever way that they can.
which I don't think we get a lot of that within our communities.
No,
Sorry to say, you
no.
people.
But again, like if like a married couple's having a fight and the wife's gone home, no one's really reaching out to be like, what can I do to help you? A lot of it
Yeah,
is it's their marriage, don't get involved.
like
Like
nobody's ready to come and help mediate.
Yeah.
That would be the word I'm looking for. Yeah, they don't want to mediate anything. Not even a family member does this, nah. They don't even mediate
They don't
at
get
all.
people don't get involved. People like to know from afar, but people don't. Then again, they don't want the blame. Maybe it'll be like it was my fault that something broke. But again, if it was meant to break, it's gonna
It's
break.
yeah. If not, they wouldn't have been in the situation in the
Yeah.
first place. Something was already there.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add on
I
before
don't
we
think
end?
so. No.
Really?
Do you have any other unfiltered questions you want to ask?
I don't think I was very unfiltered.
No, I don't think so.
I wanted to be, but then Kripal Dal beat me to it.
I don't think they went that unfiltered either.
Really?
Yeah, potentially.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming on to my show today.
Thanks for having me. It's been great.
All right. Well, there you guys have it. That was Rakshet for you, and about his journey and about how he came out to his family. And we are going to come back with another episode next week. So keep tuning in. And thank you for all the support that you've given me. And this season would not have been possible if you guys did not continue to support my show. This is Aman Kalra, your host for today. And this is Aman's Unfiltered.